Hi guys, I'm Rohit and I have scored 99.18 percentile in CAT 2025 and I have scored 29 percentile in CAT 2023. So this video is for all of those guys who wanted to start their CAT preparation and who wanted to give it in CAT 2026, and also for the people who have not given well in their previous CATs 2024, 2025 and they're still trying to figure out the right approach for CAT exam. So this video is all for you all. Yeah. So starting, I have gathered few pointers how to start with CAT preparation and what all are required to ace the CAT exam in the main final exam, and what all steps should be followed, and how many months of preparation is needed and all. So starting with the daily routine of a CAT aspirant. So there are two categories: one person who is working and preparing for CAT and one person who's solely preparing for CAT. So for the aspirant who's preparing only for CAT and is not having any work and all, so he can give some 10 to 12 hours of his time only for CAT preparation. And I'll also explain in detail how to divide those 12 hours and what all you have to do. And for the person who's working, he should be more careful because he doesn't have much time to be given for CAT preparation. So he should be more cautious of his time and also his preparation method. It is quite different for both of these. So firstly, for a person who's working, you have to be very sure about why you're giving CAT and at what time you should be starting your CAT preparation and how you have to plan your day so that it will be better for you in going forward. So the another thing is that I also got this points where people ask like, what is the right time to start CAT preparation? Like, is it too late if I start in July, or will I have more time if I start in January? So let me be very clear about that. It doesn't matter whenever you start it. So you can start it in September also, you can start it in April also, depending on your level of approach and your level of sincerity towards the exam. So one thing is that whenever you start the exam preparation, you have to be sure that whatever time that is left for the exam, you have to be 100% in your preparation efforts. And also you need to be very careful about how you are starting. So if you're starting in April, you certainly have some time to gather your thoughts around all the three areas of CAT, that is VARC, LRDI and QA. And you can start with basics and then you can go to advanced problems and advanced strategies to ace it. And if you start in September, you have to be very cautious about the time that is there. Like you don't have literally more time than 3 months. So you have to plan your day, and basics to advanced transition should be happening in very less time. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. And for an aspirant who is solely preparing for CAT, he or she can do this part where he can start his day at morning 8 o'clock and first 4 hours VARC, then LRDA, then QA in that order. Coming for individual sections, that is how to ace VARC, how to ace LRDA, how to ace QA. So there are certain steps that you have to follow or certain approaches that you have to be very sure about when you start with these sections. So coming for VARC, so it is mostly English. So you have to read more. That is the only thing that I can say about VARC. You have to read from different sources, different topics. So you have to maintain a diversity in the reading section that you have. So you can, and the sources that you can read from are like online blogs, Aon essays, and even the newspapers that you get daily. So any news that you get to read from like Hindu or Times of India, that will also help, because it is not about the information that is there, and it is about the process of how you read it. So if there are like 3 paras, one person may take 15 minutes to read it, one person may take 3 minutes to read it. So it entirely depends on how you view it. So coming for that exam approach, if you are reading something, at least from the start, you have to read entire 3 paras if you have it. So you have to read word by word and you have to understand each word. That is how you start it. But when you come to that preparation zone, right, you should be very careful about how you read it. If you have 3 paras or 4 paras or more than a page for that essay, you shouldn't take more than 5 minutes to complete it. And you need not read entire para. You don't need to mug up everything, because that will definitely not help you in exam. So you should be skimming through the para, and you have to see what all are important points and where the keywords are lying. And in the meanwhile, you can go and check the questions also. There will be 4 or 5 questions based on that para that you read. This is in the exam format. So you have to be sure that what all questions that they are asking and where is that information in that para. So you have to be mindful about this also. So what is the question asking and where is the answer in that whole 5 para or that entire page essay. So that is something you have to plan it. And vocabulary, you have to improve a lot. So you have to, you need not know all the meanings of all the words of the entire dictionary. That is not quite literally possible, right? So you have to know the meaning of certain words which have been used in past CAT exams, and which are like daily usage words. That is something that you have to know for sure. So coming for LRDI, that needs a lot of practice. So you can practice from a basic Sudoku puzzle that you generally get in some books and all, or you can also practice from the daily interaction that you get also. Like if there is a train that is moving this much time, that is something that also helps in LRDA. So, and if you do some bargaining in the market, that is also a part of logical reasoning, data interpretation, or some pie charts that you see in your daily life. That will also help you to understand the CAT exam LRDA section, because so that exam demands consistency from you, and you should be in a position to answer that particular set, that LRDA set. There will be 4 or 5 questions for LRDA. So you should be in a position to read that entire question, that entire problem statement, and you have to gather the information that is only required for those 4 or 5 questions. So for this, you can basically start from the basic Sudoku set, which is like 3x3 or 9 block Sudoku set. That will give a basic understanding of how you can deal with the LR sets. And DI sets will be mostly based on either histograms or pie charts, or the 10th class mathematics that we already have a knowledge of, right? So that is something that you have to start from the basic for LRDA. And going forward in the preparation zone, you can go to advanced level sets, where we have numerical problems or word problems, which deals this particular logical reasoning with data interpretation skills as well. So there's a mix of both of them like that. And coming for Quant, this is where it gets really tricky, because Quant is not mathematics. Many people confuse it with both. Like it is not core mathematics that you have in 10th or 12th, or till 10th or in 12th, whatever. If you are from MPC stream, the maths that you have in 12th is not what they are asking, definitely, because that is this in CAT, it is quantitative ability, it is not maths. So it means that you need not understand the core mathematics, the what do you call that, calculus based part, or some geometrical advanced geometrical questions. That is not what they are testing for sure. It is the basic arithmetic, basic geometry, basic calculus, or not calculus also, basic understanding of math, how it works, the numbers, in fact, the number system. That is what they are testing in the exam. So for that, you can start with basic questions like arithmetic questions, or time, speed, distance questions, or numbers questions. What is a prime number, composite number, what is a factorial? These are the basic understanding that you should be having before you start CAT preparation. And coming for the exam part, so there are so many people who might have given 1 or 2 mocks before the CAT and have directly gone to CAT and they have written it. So that is one strategy which may have worked for them, or for that particular person. But in general, if you don't give many mocks, it might bite you back in future. So what I would suggest is you need to give at least 10 to 15 mocks before the CAT exam, and that will keep you in a better position once you go to the exam, because once you give a mock exam, it is not how much you score. So don't literally worry about the score. Even if you score 10 marks or 15 marks in that, it is fine in the entire mock, because mock exams are not for marks. Many people confuse it, like they score some 20 marks in mock and they feel that they have lost it, or they might not crack CAT exam. I have seen so many students, in fact I am one of them, where I have scored like 35 or 40 marks in mock, and now I'm standing in front of you with 99.18 percentile. So it doesn't matter how many marks you get in mock CAT. It is that the mock is for a reason. So you have to get the understanding from the first mock itself. It is not about marks. It is about how you approach the paper, how you approach VARC, and how fast you can switch from VARC to LRDA and from LRDA to QA. So that transition is something that you have to practice in the mocks. Okay. So if you are solving some VARC set, you have to understand how many questions you need to solve. There will be some 24 questions odd, and in LRDA there will be 20, QA there will be 20 or 22, like that. So you need not solve entire paper, entire 66 questions approx. You need not solve all of them. You have to solve basically 50% of the paper to get some decent percentile. And to be in such a position, you need more practice, because we are not more used to solve questions in everyday life, right? We just solve one question and we just leave it, or it is more about the answer that we get. But in CAT, it is not like that. It is about the approach that you follow in exam, and the more speed that you show in the exam to switch from one section to other. And yeah, the last important point is the VARC or LRDI or QA. You need not be strong in all the three sections. You have to be confident that you can solve VARC and LRDI and QA. So that is what the exam tests from you, the motivation that I can give from you. All the best, guys, and thank you.